everybody. Welcome back. Let's continue on with our briefing schedule. Kell, take it over.
Good morning. So Luke and I, Luke is our staff person to the Historic Preservation Commission, and they administer the, which grant?
These
The
are annual heritage grants.
Yeah, and so there was a grant recipient that did not meet their deadline for turning in the final reporting, receipting, et cetera. There was a letter, I think you saw a letter saying why. I'm recommending that the board not withhold funds and that you know, assuming that their final reporting did indeed meet the receipt guidelines, or the guidelines for the grant with the receipts and such, that the board have the HPC administer the funds.
And this is the Harsey Valley Community Club. Yeah, it's such a cool building.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely historic.
So did they, Luke?
Did they what?
She said if they've met their,
I can't make that determination, the HPC has to, and it was unclear as to whether they made that determination at the meeting either, because their discussions were really focused on the deadline. I wrote them that letter the month prior, and that was an order given to me by the HPC to send them that letter. And then at the meeting, their discussions are really just centered around not wanting to set a precedent, feeling like they had their hands tied by the terms of the contract, and that they had an obligation to you folks, the CC, and the public to stay within the terms of that contract. So they really didn't discuss whether the applicant met the final report requirements. Yeah.
As they shouldn't, that's not for them. They did make the recommendations to us on how we do things. They're not supposed to be, in my opinion, going back and going through the nitty-gritties to see if any of that changes. That comes to us, or there's an appeal process that goes to your director, I would assume. It would be our director. That's how it's done in the past. Trying to think back to when, who it was that had happened before. But with that, what is your appeal process? It would go to the director anyway, and the director is...
We're kind of here to ask you as to what your opinion and guidance would be on this, because so ultimately these decisions for the grants, normally it's not brought to you. Historic Preservation Commission, normally they're making the decision to reimburse these organizations on your behalf so that you don't have to deal with another piece of paperwork. As far as I know, we haven't had this happen before. And so this is the odd man out, and it's why we'd be coming to you. And we understand, I think now that they're advisory to you folks as the BFCC. Yeah. And so really, if they made a motion to maintain the contract in its current terms, let's say, but really that motion would only be that they would be advising you. Yeah. And so we are kind of asking you what you would prefer. I assume you folks would be the ones to actually make a decision, and someone could appeal your decision, but I'm a little unclear on that.
Nobody can appeal our decision, actually, except for the courts.
So
we are the decision. But normally, historically, I think it was Dave, and we could check with him, that happened before many, many years ago. The appeal process is it goes to your director. If your director is okay with it and finds that it meets the law, that's the important part. It's got to meet the law. For example, does it say shall or does it say can, or what? Because that makes a big difference on how it's interpreted. If they don't do this, they shall not receive. But usually there's a process of what to go for. I would assume that our process would be what it has been in the past. You have a director, it goes to your director. If your director finds that it's outside the law or whatever, or wants to kick it to us, then it should happen that way. That's how I would assume. That's how it's been done in the past.
So in the past, directors have had basically overrule over the decision of that commission or the recommendation.
The commission doesn't have authority to make a decision on anything.
Well, I'm saying it'd be a recommendation to you folks. And so instead in that process, it goes, if the commission makes a determination, the director disagrees with it, ultimately the director of community development has the authority then to...
It depends on, that's a loaded question, because it depends on what the question is on that. If it's within the law, within the framework with what was given, then yes, I would think they do. If it is outside of that framework, or whatever, then it still comes as a recommendation to us. But that's all it is, they don't have the ability or authority to say we don't fund something, or she can't fund something, or whatever, they have none of that. Theirs is just a recommendation. I can imagine if they get mad, I know this hasn't happened, but you get mad at somebody that's come in there, one guy comes in there, he's all pissed off because he didn't get enough money, and they say, screw that, we're just gonna take that money back. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. Once we pass it, that is the law, unless something happens that it falls outside that law. I've never even seen us take one back.
Not since I've been here.
And I've been doing it 13 years, I'm working my 14th, so we never take it back. If possible, we find a way to get to yes and help them. We've taken back money from mental health issues and from housing, but man, what a huge amount of work that went in before we ever did that. Because we've tried to find a way to get to yes and help first and let them fit within what they need to do before we start withdrawing things. That's my recommendation.
I think you guys are following the right process. You brought it to us for final approval, so I feel like it's going in the right direction.
So we'll just confirm that they actually sent in the proper receipts
Yeah, it sounds like,
in the report.
according to the email that she sent, sounded like they were doing they thought they were working on the grant paperwork, but it was actually the permit paperwork, and so it's just a different communication, I guess. And so I think I'm comfortable moving forward with it.
Okay.
That's why I support your recommendation.
Okay.
And in the future, if it comes up again, whatever, you can always, ask for it to come to the commission. But at the same time, staff, directors are the ones that are gonna tell us what comes to the commission unless we ask for it. So that's just how it works. But the one thing to bear in mind is, like I said, the verbiage as can and shall are two different things. But again, the body is they work for us basically, and not on their own, they don't get to make any of those decisions. But they can send a note to us saying they're not happy, they can call us direct too.
No, that part was fine. They weren't sure of where they were sitting in that legal structure, and they weren't sure if this would come to a hearing and they would get to give their 2 cents as to why they made the decision. They were just they were open to whatever we found the correct path to be.
Well, because we adopted up there, we would have to take it back up there.
That's what.
So,
Yeah.
that's another reason why we just don't do that if we don't have to. The embarrassment and everything for that organization would be terrible, you can imagine. If it comes as an action to take it back, as I said, we've done it for other things, like only 2 times, but it was not pretty, felt bad.
I don't have any further questions.
That's great, yeah. When do you need this on the agenda, can it go on the?
No, we don't need
You don't need it on the agenda, it's
No,
already
that was only
done.
if you, were to, with,
We done
not
did
administer the funds, but we're not gonna do that.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah. All right, I think that's it.
Anything for help?
Thank you.
Well, oh no, that's tomorrow. See you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice one.
Happy
Can
Thanksgiving.
you check to see if, thank you,
Happy
you too.
Thanksgiving.
Can
Happy
you check
Thanksgiving.
if Loretta's in the lobby, can you send them in?
I will.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a weirdly long time between 10 and 10:30 for those 2 briefings. I'm not sure what happened there, but
It is, I probably thought it was gonna take forever.
if she's not out there, I can go see if Jen's ready to come in.
Oh, okay.
What an incredible.
Oh, there she is.
And look, there they are.
Those Granges used to be everything. That was, it's a little form of government for those communities.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Morning.
How are you this bright Monday morning?
Present.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Finally got some rain, so.
Wow, and there was ice on my windows this morning.
It looked frosty when I drove in this morning, like it had frozen here.
Yeah. My road is still squishy, but
Yeah,
my windshield is not.
your road wasn't that swishy though,
No, not the road that you guys did.
right? Okay, I was gonna say, that
My-
road better not be squishy.
My portion of the road. 500 yards of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, mine was good. What you guys did is still amazing.
Yes.
It turned out well.
Good stuff.
Oh, it's beautiful.
This morning Mike was taking pictures of the board of some of the accomplishments and the giant laundry list of
Yeah.
things that a lot hammered out this year.
Yeah, yeah, so much. Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
All right, well, we have just a couple of action items and hopefully fairly simple this morning. Adopt a road and tip cap.
I'll have them both.
We have two adopt a road agreements that are requested. One from the Hood Canal Lions Club for McGreevy Road, that'd be from Dalby down to Webb Hill. And then the Dennison family is wanting to do East Agate Road and be the whole East Agate from SR 3 to the store, so, which is a big,
That's a big
That's
stretch.
a big
Project.
stretch too. Yeah.
so we would like the board to put that on the agenda and get that approved. That's for a 2-year agreement, and they've got required to go out twice a year, and they work through 10 roads to do that, so.
Yeah, and this is when we don't normally ask for brief today and action tomorrow, and
Thanks, Chris.
we asked Chris. We thought maybe it'd help lighten the load on the action agenda the following week. And then also we have one of the one of the Adopt a Road folks that have been kind of chomping at the bit, getting ready to go. So appreciate being able to put that on action tomorrow.
Commissioners?
I support.
I support.
You got
Thank
it.
you.
I had something, I'm just trying to find it, can't find it.
It'll come.
So, tip cap?
And tip cap, yes, this one, I apologize, it kind of dropped through our cracks. I don't think we knew who was on first about scheduling this, but we do have an applicant.
Andrew Flanagan for Commissioner District 2, Hoodsport. I haven't met him. Gentleman.
Yep. Yeah, so wasn't sure whether commissioners wanted to do an interview or simply appoint, or procedure-wise, how you wanna move forward.
Anybody know it?
I do not.
I missed what we're talking about, I'm sorry.
Oh, tip cap,
Yeah.
a new applicant.
Oh, the new applicant?
Yes, and whether you'd like to,
Andrew Flanagan?
He's
Never heard,
the only one that's applied.
Yeah, but every once in a while, the reason why we interview him, because every once in a while you get one, you go, yeah, no.
Yeah, this guy, retired Army, a motor
Yeah,
sergeant for 15 years.
I read his application.
Yeah.
It's like,
Sounds great.
Seems pretty upstanding.
Contractor for the Department of
I
Navy.
mean, I have no
Yeah.
objection to interviewing him either. That's,
Let's see, our next briefing is, when's our next briefing, Chris?
Next year, we do first. It will be next month.
And that's gonna be a busy day. We've got the budget hearing and other things on that day. You wanna set up a interview? Or do you want Chris to set up the interview?
if that's normally what happens.
I try to think, for most of the other interviews, they go through the
The
department.
department, okay, then glad to
And
do
so
it,
if you guys-
absolutely.
If you guys could set it up for as soon as possible, so we can get them started.
Okay. And those are done typically after a board meeting or briefings, during briefings?
After briefings.
After briefing, okay.
Yeah, or during briefings. Sometimes, it just depends on where, so consult with
Okay,
Chris as to timing,
okay,
and then we'll get it on the calendar,
all
on the
right,
agenda.
will do. Thank you. Alrighty, then next up for a discussion item, solid waste voucher. So we have completely used all of the vouchers in the tonnage. We had an individual that did a great cleanup with the help of the health department and volunteers, and so there was this kind of voucher snafu basically. So now they're getting credited. They paid in advance using their credit card. We need to reimburse them and use vouchers that had already been provided for that. We have, we had only 2.8 tons of voucher left available. I'm recommending that solid waste simply pay for the remainder. It amounts to about $372 and just call it good,
Yeah.
if that's all right with commissioners. I did talk with Tim Whitehead about this, and he said, I do not consider this a gifting, and so he felt comfortable with the recommendation as well.
This has been an incredible thing for helping. Over the years, we've given out these vouchers, and neighbors have gotten together to clean up elderly's properties, and
Yeah.
there's so many things. I'm open to looking for other ways to expand on this in some way if we can. In the future, I'm very okay with this now, don't get me wrong, I'm completely okay with this, but this has been just too beneficial. If there's a possibility of expanding or working something out with the contractor to expand it, we give them a dime more, I don't know. But I just mean, it has been too good, and I know that, for example, Commissioner Tarswell is working on a piece of property, and if we can find ways to show that that can be taken out of there for free, or through a,
Nothing's free.
through a line item that we put together or something for the future, it may be beneficial to have those discussions, because it's that beneficial to the county.
Yeah.
There was a lot of cleanup done with vouchers this year.
Yes,
Yeah,
there was.
it was
This was
awesome.
a record year. It was great. It was really, really satisfying.
Can you reach out to Waste Management and talk to them, see if we can get some more
Talk.
next year, or figure out, and maybe this could be a good discussion item to bring up at some other meetings and see if there are other ways that we can
Sure. Certainly with health. I mean, that's
incentivize.
our biggest
Yeah.
partner in
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
aside from waste
And
management.
they,
Yeah.
but Waste Management, gotta give them credit, they've been good at working with us. Where Public used
No,
to
they're
give
awesome.
in, if you don't ask, the answer is no, let's ask them, see if they'll expand that program.
Yeah, and if I can get it together, I would like to just kind of do a quick acknowledgement before year end of all, how many times this
Absolutely.
year,
That would be
how
awesome.
many,
We'll bring them
how
in.
many things that we've done to
Bring
really
them in
last
for
meeting is the
that.
ninth.
Absolutely.
That'll help to
Yeah.
maybe get more.
Our last meeting, I believe, is the 9th.
Yeah, okay, great. We'll plan a little celebration.
No pressure.
I think it should come together pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think so
and,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you, commissioners. We'll get that processed
Can
and,
you also put this on the SWAC agenda
Yes.
too, so that they
Yes.
know how
Yep.
how amazing things have been working? It's good for the public to understand as well.
yes. All right. And then the other item I have, so tomorrow we have the action item for the MOU with the city of Bremerton. And the city's attorney came back and had a request to include some timelines to go through the steps that are outlined in the MOU. So I reviewed that with Tim and Travis briefly, and you'll see it on page 2, what is some alternate draft language.
So everything else on here is pretty much the same.
Yeah, no changes, the only changes are the red. Yeah. And so basically, in a nutshell, what it says is that after the MOU is signed, there's 180 days to complete the feasibility, if you will. And then after that is done, there's 45 days to make a determination, to say yay or nay. We will serve, or no, we will not serve.
I really appreciate that we had a timeline for the feasibility, because I think that was something that all 3 commissioners were looking forward to. And I think even the city of Burlington is also looking forward to that.
Sure.
So, I think it's a good idea to put a timeline in. Commissioners?
I can understand the timeline for the MOU, I don't understand the other timeline. Why would we force ourselves into a situation like that? One, it doesn't benefit Mason County at all. Number two, there's still nothing in here. One of the things that came up in the conversation with the attorney is if we sign this, we are bound to pay for that, the feasibility. And they should be paying for the feasibility if it's gonna benefit them, not Mason County. So without any verbiage in there for that,
Well, my recollection of the conversation with Tim is that both of us are doing a feasibility. They're doing their thing, we're doing our
so
thing.
we, but again, that's
And if
what
you wanna-
it says. Let's correct that again. His termination is, if we do this, we are paying for our own.
Correct,
That's what,
yes.
Well, and I believe that our feasibility study would include just what Mason County needs for our sewer,
For your determination,
right?
yeah.
Not,
they were given money to do it. And we should be utilizing that money instead of our
oh,
money.
that's out of commerce, the money. for
Yes.
the- Yeah,
That's, I don't expect, they're broke too. I don't know what money we think we're gonna get out of them. They don't have any money, but they promised $1 million years ago. We never got that either. But this here, they should be paying for it out of the money that the state gave them to pay for it.
right, but, well, I think that's item G on there on the second page. Department of Commerce awarded the city $3 million to design welfare WRF. Capacity upgrades 1.4 and the city gets 1.6. So our feasibility study would, in my mind, come out of that 1.4.
I've got no problem with that as long as we put it in writing too. Just say it, that it'll come out of that they will pay for it either out of the Commerce grant or,
No, that we pay our portion out of the Commerce grant.
we don't have any money out of the Commerce grant.
Yeah, we do, we have 1.4.
No,
Yeah,
they
we do.
have it. It doesn't come to us except for through them.
It's designated to us though.
Yes, as a
But
subcontractor.
through, yeah,
a
through them,
subrecipient,
so they have
yes.
to allow for it to be, because they said they wouldn't before. If they are allowing for it, I'm good with it. If they do, I will even, except for the 45 days, that holding us to that at the end doesn't make sense. I could sign it and not vote against it or fight it up there if it ties it where they're paying for it out of that grant money. They don't have to pay for it out of their money, I'm good with that out of the grant money. And we move the 45 day because I don't wanna have to just be forced into it. Let's find out what it is and what time it takes, Except for the 180 days, I'd love to, they're limited on when they can pay, so they have to pay or lose that money too.
Correct,
So the 180 days makes sense to me.
yeah, and that's, they did review that with Commerce, and
And
so,
Commerce was
and
okay.
Commerce was okay with the timeline that was proposed.
Well, quite honestly, I have 401 days left. And so I
She's
would,
got a clock,
I do.
I saw
The
it.
countdown.
Yeah, and so I would like to be able to have something done. We either go forward or we don't within that 400 days. So if we have a timeline, that's gonna push us to make a decision.
Right, and item 3 does say shall strive to complete item 1 within 100
She'll strive to complete
days.
it in one.
Or item I guess,
Mhm.
not
I-
1, sorry.
Yeah, they're kind of
Oh,
look the same, don't they?
Adjust my glasses.
evaluation. Evaluation.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that line, as long as it states that the funds paying for it will come out of section G.
And commissioners, in my mind, it's happening under F
Under F.
and the general sewer plan, because that's our very first step. And that's already in our work plan, it's already baked in. That's the very first step. Ecology has to say, yes, you can or can't.
Or you
and-
cannot.
Exactly.
Right. The plans are submitted and approved by ecology,
Yeah.
that's under B.
And with that comes a whole financial analysis. It's all part of a general sewer plan.
And one of the reasons why we're even having these conversations is to get them to use that money to pay for it. I don't know why we wanna skirt that again. Let's go back to the,
It's fine,
to
I'm
the
just
other.
saying that it's in there.
Yeah, not who pays for it, that's, has to be added. I'm good with that, if it's added, if we can remove the 45 day, just that 45 day part, cause I like the other. Even put 180 backwards, cause that'll give us time to find it and figure it out, or accept it and find the money to do it. 45 days is not realistic. I would do 180, and I'd sign it. I'd also, but it has to also say that the cost of that feasibility will be covered through the grant or funds from Bremerton directly.
Would you do 90 days? Because that's
I would
getting
do-
really
I would
close
do
to
90. I would do 90. No, that's, Commissioner, one of the things about you and me, we've battled a lot, but you will try to help me, and I always try to work with you. I feel that was an honorable attempt. I can't argue with that. I would accept that.
Yeah, I'm okay with 90. That is kind of aggressive considering how slowly all this progresses.
Yeah.
45 days is like, that's a blink of an eye, relatively speaking.
Alrighty,
All right, so we change that to 90
got it.
And that the feasibility will be paid for out of the grant.
out of the Commerce grant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how you word it, but you could, it seems like you can fit that in under G.
Yeah, or either the Commerce grant or Bremerton.
I would just put it on the Commerce grant. That way we don't have to go back to the city
Yeah.
to go further.
Shit, so I'm gonna vote for this thing again. But I tried to be honorable.
Well,
I appreciate you working with me. You stepped up and did it. What can I say?
well, there's 3 of us,
Yeah.
and it's really amazing to me when all 3 of us can work together. And so that's always been my goal.
Definitely better than fighting. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't like people yelling.
So I'll put that on my vote.
Alrighty, so procedurally, I'll have a draft of this and then it'll need to pull off for separate discussion, and if you want this presented.
I think you're item, hold on, I got it right here.
But we'll have the revisions for the board to consider for action.
Look at that. We're just working so good. So that's item 810.
Alrighty,
So we're gonna have it revised
yes.
tomorrow.
Yes.
We'll pull it off of the agenda, discuss the revised.
Yes,
Okay.
So be ready for that one.
if that sounds like
That
a
makes sense.
plan.
Yeah, we're gonna have to move the meeting along fairly quickly, because at 10 o'clock, we have government to government with Swanson, and then at 1, we have a government to government with Skokomish.
And then somewhere in there, I
But
got
then I can also explain to the public why I voted for it, so.
certification.
That's it, yeah, at 2.
Okay, I think that is all we have. A couple of the drainage items, I know Dave's reached out to the Beards Cove individual and is following to set a specific date to meet on site. And
We're working in that area too, so those are chip seal roads for next year, so we're working on all the drainage and road repairs, shoulder widening, brushing, everything, we're starting it now, so.
I wonder if that's the one I was gonna talk about, because he sent an email saying that they came out, they did something, but didn't fix it enough. And he specifically said, do not send a nasty email to Loretta, because although it needs to be cleaned out, the water's a better situation, and some of it has been resolved. Because
oh, that might be the North Shore.
Yeah, I think that's North Shore, because his
Person,
emails
yeah.
were kind of rough in the beginning, but he wanted
Yeah.
to know that they did send people out there, did try. Please look at that again, I'll get you his email and stuff. The
Yeah,
other one's down
that's-
the Old Welfare Highway,
Yeah.
which she has issues on that one,
Okay.
water coming down.
Sherry?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been.
Okay, I haven't heard, so,
I think that's more of a driveway issue, is what I'm understanding from Jeremy.
I haven't looked at it.
yeah, all I know is it's
Yeah.
filled up. Whenever it fills up, no matter what,
Yeah,
so,
yep,
that's what I had.
all right.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, okay, and then I guess the only other, just to be on the radar, we plan to brief on the 8th of December about next steps for the ecology inspection letter, and then that afternoon we have a meeting with ecology. I think you've been looped in on some recent communications back and forth.
I appreciate
So
that.
just
other-
wanted to make sure that still,
If-
we're tracking on
Did,
that.
did that director say it all on the phone, or did he put any of it in writing?
It was all on the phone,
Okay,
yeah,
that's fine.
yep,
And then early closure of the Belford drop in the Yells Hill.
yes.
on the 18th.
Yeah, just a reminder on that, and then, if Kevin doesn't, he went home not feeling so great today, but he'll be reading those announcements tomorrow. If not, I'll try and pretend I'm Kevin. Not as fun, but,
You're gonna have to wear a hat.
right, yeah.
I know, that's
Grow a
so much
beard.
fun. I like it.
All kinds of
Not
fun
sure about
things. I'll work on it.
Yeah.
Loretta,
That'll work. Okay, I
Okay.
don't have anything other than,
You could have Mike do it. He's got the beard.
Yep.
Yep. And with that, we're out of here. Thank you, commissioners.
thank you guys.
Thank you.
Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Yes.
All right, Travis, you're up.
All right, Jennifer, you're up.
Okay.
See how that works?
That was slick.
So the first
That's
thing that I
efficient
have
delegation.
is the deletion of Fund 114, which is victim witness. Victim witness activity. We had it as a special fund, and the prosecutor's office is asking that we move that fund into a department within the general fund. It ran through the audit committee, and I am asking if we can include or change this in the 2026 budget so that it's just a cleanup item, really. The fund right now has about $300 in it, which is residual, I think it's internal allocation that was charged to the grant. But basically, the fund should have, or the department would have about a zero balance in it, since it's a reimbursable grant. So Leo and I talked after the audit committee meeting, and we think that we would not need to track the fund balance separately, because it should be close to zero, so it would be kind of a.
If the two of you got together with that, I'm comfortable with that. We talked about that during the audit committee and whether or not to put a note of some sorts in it. But if it's a 50, it can be 50,000 in the year, so that's a lot. But it's in and out, it's not something we have to worry about. One of my concerns would be that there's 50 grand in there. You're gone, I'm gone, she's gone. Somebody else says, okay, we could just use that money in the general fund unless there's a note. But if they don't run enough to where they have more than a few hundred.
Yeah, since it's reimbursable and not paid up front,
Right.
then I'm comfortable, Leo's comfortable, so.
Then I'm comfortable.
Okay.
Okay. And so,
Just one question. You say victim witness.
it's
Is
a
that
grant.
like a slash, like two separate words, or do we have a?
It's called victim space witness space activity.
So
if
this
that
is a way
helps.
to reimburse witnesses for something, or what,
It's,
I mean, no.
it's a grant from a state agency that we have had for many years. What they do exactly, I don't know. I mean, I can find out
These are
if you,
victims of crime.
yeah. All I
Alright,
care is about is the accounting of it, so, you know.
I'll actually ask.
I mean, not that I don't care, but,
Well, and with the accounting of it, so you will show 50,000 revenue.
yes, so that would be.
That's important, because especially with
Yes.
everything we're doing, if we can't show the revenue, then it's just gonna look like we just expended another 50,000.
Yeah, so that would show in the 2026 budget as $50,246, or $54,246 in revenue, and then $54,246 in salary and benefit expense.
Okay.
So I'll make that change for the December 1st adopted budget. So that's all I have on that. Oh, and then can we move that to tomorrow's action agenda so that it's approved before the budget? Okay, great,
Yeah.
thank you.
For sure.
Did you tell Chris?
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
He's nicer, he doesn't throw things at us when you just put anything on the agenda you want.
The next thing that I have for you is the 2025 supplemental appropriations and amendments to the budget. I noticed that what is in the packet for today is different than what I had submitted on, I was late in submitting it, so I apologize for that. But the amount that should be in the packet, and I'll make sure that
Well, you
Chris
can
and I
just
talk.
clarify it tomorrow during the,
Okay, but I wanted to run this by you. So we had health department, we added 260,000 for the mobile hospital pods. So that, our most mobile hospital pod, that was approved earlier. So we're adding that to the budget. So just
Okay,
wanted to
because
clarify
that's,
that.
it's just not on here.
Yeah, and then the one in the packet includes the HART, I think it's called, the election equipment.
Oh, the voting system.
Yeah. So the
Oh,
new,
And so that's gonna be removed.
yeah, so the new amount for the general fund is $1,735,054. That's the increase to expenditures. And then special funds, $644,500 in expenditures. The amount of revenue for the general fund to increase in the general fund is $1,309,000. And so, yeah, again, I'll get with Chris on that and make sure we have that in the packet. And then I wanted to make sure that you were aware the property tax levy hearing is tomorrow. And that hearing is on the agenda, but the packet items are, Chris is adding that, so I just wanted to make sure that you knew that.
Okay.
So that's all I have on the 2025 supplemental appropriations, so we can move on to the 2026 budget now.
we stopped last meeting, Commissioner, because you weren't here, to have the deeper discussions on.
Oh, very nice, thank you. Yeah, we won't even talk about the airport. That was a nightmare.
So the amount that is in your packets, Commissioners, for the 2026 budget at this moment, and this does not include what we just talked about, the Fund 114, moving it to Department 181. The amount for the general fund, we have 24 million as our beginning fund balance. Oh, and I can share my screen too.
Oh, that'd be great. That way people can see what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Nobody else is on.
Oh, you know, you never know who's on TV, Mason Webb. Diedrich has quite the following. You can track that up though, right, Diedrich?
Yes.
That's cool.
Okay, so we have 24 million in the general fund, beginning fund balance. Revenues, we have $46,783,647. Salaries and benefits, right now we have $38,467,491. Operating expenditures, $19,129,719.
Okay, Chris, the TV's idle.
Ending fund balance, we have $13,186,437. And if we were to expend our budget in full, then the total from ending fund balance would be $10,813,563. We know that that is not going to happen for a few different reasons. We budget our revenue conservatively, and sales tax, I had thought it was 9.8 million. We actually have it budgeted at 9.6 million. So it's very conservative. We're looking at probably receiving about 10.5 million this year in sales tax for the general fund.
Spend lots for Christmas, please.
Yeah. I did, in this budget, I made changes to the property taxes based on the amounts that I received or the estimates that I received from the assessor's office. So, the property tax for the general fund, we had, estimated higher, so we reduced that by $15,909. And, usually we're a little bit closer than that, and I usually end up adding a little, so, I'm not sure what happened there, but, I mean, still pretty close, 15,000 out of close to 11 million. And then in the road fund, we increased their property tax by $396,981. In mental health, Fund 164, we increased it by $3,939. And in the veterans assistance, increased by $2,505. So that, again, is all included in these numbers. The other changes that I made in this budget since last time I briefed is to the Fund 163, the LTAC or lodging tax fund. I made changes to the amounts based on the contracts that are set to be awarded, right? Or were those awarded? I don't remember now.
Yeah, no, I'm recommending that we go ahead with and award them as is. We can change them.
Okay. So that is now included in Fund 163.
So, back on that one, so are you recommending the larger piece be funded?
For now, until we get a certain plan or a plan about for Masonry moving forward.
Okay.
Right now,
Well,
we have nothing,
you know how
so.
I am on that, it's your committee, so I will be supportive. I just wanted to, for my own numbers and stuff in my head, I need to keep track, so.
Yep.
If would be okay with funding that at the recommendation?
Yep.
Cool.
I did include in here the opioid amounts that you had approved, I think it was last week or the week
Oh,
before.
right.
Except for I noticed that on the resolution for the opioid funds, the sheriff's office had 150,000 and I only included 125.
Yeah, that was something I was saying at the thing, I remembered it at 150, because they had some other things that they needed to cover. I'm still good with the 150, because that's less than what they actually wanted.
Yeah.
I sat down with them a while back, because it was 5 years, and it was a bunch of other stuff, but
Okay,
so I'm comfortable with 150 for everybody else's.
You good with that?
great. So I'll add that additional 25,000, but I did include the 25,000 for the coroner's office and then the 175,000 to North Mason Regional Fire. So I increased that professional service by that amount in Fund 150. Yeah, so that's
Have we heard anything back from them?
from North Mason Fire.
Because we changed that completely from what they asked for. It was just us deciding ourselves, which is, I'm good with that, believe me. But they may not be able to do it at that, so we need to make sure.
Oh, I haven't heard anything, but I don't think they would reach out to me. I would think they would reach out to Dave.
To Dave,
Probably,
probably.
yeah,
Let's check with Dave and see if
yeah.
they did reach out. Thank you.
He's already typing it.
Then we have the Toshner contract
Oh, yes,
increase, so
for public defense.
yeah, for public defense, so I'm thinking that will be an increase of $51,284, split between the adult felony contracts. Right now, we currently have 300,000 budgeted there, and in the adult misdemeanor contracts, we have 270,000, so it looks like an increase of $25,152 for the misdemeanor contracts, and then $26,132 for the felony contracts from what I could.
But that was with the same amount of stuff. You were looking at that last time. What did you come up with since?
We haven't,
talk about.
Yeah, we don't know what that's gonna,
Okay, so do we want to increase that amount? Do we want to add the 51,284 into the budget or leave it as is for now?
oh, I think you might as well put it in there. I don't see how it's gonna go down. I mean,
It's not gonna go
Well,
down.
and if we put it in, at least we know what we're doing. The contract is not signed yet. We still can talk about whether or not we want to continue with that contract in that manner. But it's not gonna hurt us if it's in the budget, it just comes back.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing an amendment for their budget. I think currently they are a little bit over right now. So I think we're definitely going to expend
I
that.
didn't hear anything encouraging over in Spokane either about
Okay.
the legal battles over that. It doesn't sound like we're gonna come out on top.
Oh, we're not. No.
Okay, and then on the special funds, in your packet, currently, the revenue for the special funds, the beginning fund balances are estimated at $64,638,394. Revenues coming in, $63,136,377. For total revenue, including beginning fund balance, of $127,774,771. Salary and benefit expense for special funds is currently estimated at $16,541,383. Operating expenditures are estimated at $57,020,315. Ending fund balances estimated at $54,213,073. For, again, total budget of $127,774,771. And so that does not include the changes that we just talked about, the Toshner, the Fund 114, and then adding the $25,000 for the sheriff's office from health for the opioid funds. That's all that I have at this point, unless you want to go through anything else.
Well, a couple of things to mention, so commissioners, next week, I'd like to talk about the cuts and stuff that I think that are necessary. I prepared something I'll be able to share with you guys, and you guys can take it home with you and stuff like that. To round out some of the numbers that I see, just to share it with you. I think, even though it looks like we're 11 million backwards, we never are. I hate budgeting for unexpended budget authority, but there's a reality to it. Although I will remind you, we had 1 year when that didn't happen, and that devastated us. And we had to do mid-year cuts, and that was one of the worst things I've ever had to be through. With that being said, I don't think it's happening. I think we're good. At $11 million backwards, if we wanted to stay truly flush, we collected a $2 million windfall this year that we didn't account for at all, and it helped us with the sales tax and everything else. But it may not happen. If it doesn't happen, that means that our losses would have been much greater this year. I worry about next year's losses. So for myself to be completely flush, you'd be looking at 5 million. I don't think that's even possible. What I look at instead is, I've talked with our administrator, I look at a 5-year plan so that we don't have to expend our cash all out, and we buy 5 years and we figure out new ways for revenue or whatever during a 5-year period. You can never do anything forever. So with that being said, I know in my head, I see a number of about 3 million. I think we need to adjust. With that being said, not all of those are cuts. There are different things such as moving money. The 1.080 in the diversion is one of them that accounts for a big number of it. I've got some other things that I'm recommending, along with some possible cuts. With that being said, there's a few that are leaving that or are unfilled right now, so we wouldn't actually have to cut. We just have to cut the position. But we'll share that with you with all the ideas, so hopefully we can talk about it next week. I do see some cuts that are necessary. I think if we can get in our budget a movement of money of approximately 3 million, then we'll still be going backwards probably $1 million a year, maybe a little more, but we can make things last with that. We have enough cash. we can last going
That's what I have
backwards
in reserve.
a little bit, without even hopefully hitting our reserve. So I'll share all that with you, but, with that, a few other things, the idea of things we've done in the past. Kelly's a great example, he's got facilities. We could move a body into REIT, where REIT covers the whole person. That's about $125,000. Do the same thing in parks. We've done it in the past where we take projects and we use those projects to pay for it. So that REIT money does not come out of the general fund, it's into it, in and out. But by doing that, we don't have to lay people off on that. We can just use a different form of revenue to pay for them other than the general fund and eat out of our bottom line. So with that, I'll share my stuff with you guys. You can look at it and like it, don't like it, hate it, whatever, but at least you'll have something to see where I'm looking.
Can we change the term body into staff?
Well,
Because if we're moving bodies, that just sounds like a coroner
I was gonna
thing.
say, that's especially the coroner's one, yeah. But, I'm perfectly good with that, but I just know that, they do know how to do it, they've done it before. Matter of fact, at one point, I think you were balancing 2 people or more.
With parks.
Yeah. So, it's not like I don't know how, it's been easier not doing it, but now we may have to. But all that stuff makes a difference on whether we can buy the next 5 years without raising taxes and live within our means and not have to lay a bunch of people off. I dread that.
Yeah, well, and there's school levies and stuff coming up for special elections and
Yep.
stuff too, so let's keep an eye on what we do and how we do it and come up with a good plan. I think it might also be a good idea to have a department head and elected meeting in January to discuss the 5-year plan.
Well, I was gonna say, I can't say that I wish I could tell you I have a 5-year plan. What I have is a plan that would buy us 5 years.
I think we should,
It has to still be ongoing, there's still things that could come, a catastrophe could hit the economy and it shifts everything. More windfalls could come and we don't have to worry so much, and maybe we can allow for another position to come back. You know, I don't
I'd
know.
love to come up to see a 5-year plan, because then at least somebody, whoever takes my seat, can look at that 5-year plan and go, that's a great idea, or that's just stupid. But at least that person would have a,
But with that, I think we should, if you would agree, I think we need to tell the road department that diversion's for sure coming.
I think we already did, didn't we? The
Not
1
really.
point.
We said we were thinking about it still, and we
Are we
didn't.
talking about 2026?
The diversion.
Yes,
Oh,
for the
I thought that was, I thought that was in the budget already.
well, we have $1,080,000 in the budget already,
Yes.
but you're
Yeah.
talking an additional.
You're talking
yes,
additional?
well, the additional, we took it, we gave it back to them 2 years ago. We need to take it back and use it for patrol and stuff like that, so that we don't have to lay off the deputies to make up that money. Instead, we can use the REIT money, or not REIT, the road fund money to make it up like we did in the past.
So tomorrow is the property tax hearing,
Right.
so we would need to know that for tomorrow, or, by tomorrow. So I can prepare those resolutions to include 2.16 million in total, or
2.16.
okay.
Yeah.
What I had talked with the sheriff's office about, it was just a flat 2 million, and they said they could support
Yeah.
that. I don't know about 2.16, I mean, it's not that much more.
No, when I talked to them, he could support the whole thing and they
Okay.
could justify, but that's what they did before. So even if it becomes hard, it just comes back.
Okay.
But at least we know that that'll be 1 million that we don't have to find elsewhere in people.
Okay, so yeah, I can prepare those resolutions to include those amounts if that's what you want to do for tomorrow.
That would add to our revenue, what do you think?
Well, how much is Loretta gonna scream about that, or Mike more specifically?
They've expanded on their programs of what they're doing, and then we've taken, right now, the pain for this shouldn't be that drastic. Number one, they've taken in almost a couple $1 million the last year or so. Even if they do status quo, which they've expanded a lot, it shouldn't hurt them that much at all. But with that, they just took in another $1 million right now. This is, I think they're fine. I think we should hold them to status quo with $1 million going away. We can take $1 million out of the monies that they've received on properties and buy them a couple of years before having an adjustment. So we don't have to take any money out of the, new roads for economic development either. But right now, that's something we can still discuss as we're going forward. I'm more worried about the tax, setting the tax levy rates. And that's
Yeah,
what
that's
you're,
what
she's
I'm-
under,
yeah.
she's under the gun
Yeah.
for right now.
Right,
Yeah.
And
right,
we
and you
coulda-
have that prepared for tomorrow.
Yeah, I can definitely get that prepared, and I can have several different options. I can add other options onto the suggested.
I think it just keep it simple with the putting back the money that we put back in their budget, the 1.080.
Right, because we cut it in half.
Yes.
3 years ago,
Yep.
4 years ago.
That's what I think, because I don't know how we do the cuts without it, except for.
I'm just looking at our revenue. We're gonna,
Yeah, I mean,
We
if
have to do
that's,
something.
if that's gonna work, then not put them in a bind. I mean, that's really the,
Well, they're not gonna have to lay anybody off or anything, there's just some projects with those come to us for that other million out of there. Well, right now, though, their ending fund balance jumped a lot. What they originally had showed us for their budget for their ending fund balance is now almost $3 million different than what they expected. Or what they budgeted for, expected, I don't know.
that's
So,
probably,
yeah.
yeah.
So what are they looking at for their ending this year now with the million we just added?
I mean, we increased their beginning fund balance to, it's about 15 million. I mean, I have it right here.
Yeah, and that was before you got the other million though, so we'll have a beginning fund balance of close to 16 million. Which when they came to us with their proposal, their beginning fund balance was expected to be at what, 12?
Yeah, I mean, but they're in the same boat that we are as the general fund. You know, they're always budgeting like they're going to expend everything, and from my experience and looking back, they have never even come close. I think a lot of that's changed now that we have, you know, Mike Collins over the
Does a
road
great
fund.
job.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely gets projects done. So maybe it is more of a concern that they would expend everything, but I've never
Yeah,
seen
I've
it.
never seen it in all the years I've been here. If anything, that's what we took money from. Actually, you were there. We took money from it and put it into the roads for economic development, which was created, not to be mean, but to make sure that another department that saw the money didn't rip it all out and put it in, because they had their eye on it at the time. And
Yeah, I mean, they have definitely a big juggling act with
Yeah.
their grants and, you know, all of their projects. So I'm probably making it way too simplistic, you know,
So it looks
just,
like-
I just was thinking about some of the clawbacks that Crab is doing, and are we, you know, I don't wanna risk any of that sort of.
now we're still,
We
Just
should
depends
still
what-
be okay.
yeah, what projects we want to expand on is what, this last year, this presentation was a presentation on expanding on services and bringing in more projects, not doing with what we had, and that was when the numbers were 12 million. Now the numbers are gonna be closer to 16, and we'll still be able, in my opinion, to allow them to expand on their services and what they're doing and still not hurt them. Which I want them to, they've been doing some great stuff with the money they have.
Yeah, and diversion is a completely legitimate expense, so long as it can be backed up. So,
As long as it can be documented.
Yeah.
Because crab's very picky, and they watch
Yeah.
that close.
Well, the first year we had a problem. The very first year we did it, we had a problem, but then
Yeah.
they put it underneath, who's now our sheriff. And he started documenting everything, and then he started bringing it to us every week, and now we don't even have to see it. They've gotten so good at their stuff that we don't even worry about it.
It looks like they're predicting that their ending fund balance would be 13 million.
I think that was their
Different,
original.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, right now it's $15,008,688.
And I don't know if they have $1 million that's come in yet, right? We signed, I just don't know how that
Yeah, I'm
goes.
not sure if it
It,
came in.
it wouldn't be in your,
No,
yeah.
no, it would be in Terrascan. Probably not even in Munis yet.
And in the near future, there's another piece of property we're probably gonna wanna talk about, which is right there by the dump there across from Ridge Motorsports. There might be very high dollar.
Okay, so if I'm understanding right, I will revise the property tax resolutions to be the 2.16 million in diversion for 2026.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I will get that change made and send Chris my update and Tim and the assessor's office.
I can expect that there'll be a couple of past TIPCAP members that aren't there anymore, they're gonna call me furious. They hated that,
Oh,
they hated it, but
that's okay,
it is what it is. Show me another option, because I don't have it.
unless they want us to raise taxes.
To raise taxes and lay more people off, this is a good option.
These are difficult times, and
Yeah.
hopefully people start understanding how difficult it is.
Okay, that's all that I have unless you have anything else that you want me to do for the 2026 budget at this point.
And the other stuff, takes any kind of change there, it'll be in the final budget itself that I've been putting forward.
Great, then I think we will be ready to adopt on December 1st.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I'll stop my share.
What else do we have on the agenda?
Nothing else on the agenda. I do have a couple items though.
And I got one attitude.
You're one of those items.
Good.
You're such an item.
Since you jumped in there, do you just wanna go?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll go. I'll start it. I got a letter of resignation from an employee, from Jesse. He will be, the last day will be December 2nd, and I am looking to just post and fill that position.
Wow. I like Jesse.
I did too. It's a tough day.
Deny his,
I always like to. He's been off for over a year,
Yeah.
and
yeah,
he's just come to that conclusion, so.
okay.
So I don't know if you guys have been doing any work on cuts or whatever. The cuts that I have and what I think we should try to do does not include them actually losing a position. It would include them just switching how a position gets funded. So being afraid of what we're gonna actually do, I hesitantly would still support doing it because.
I support it because you guys are so stinking busy.
well,
We
you save us
definitely got more
money.
buildings, we got more everything.
And you save us money.
Yeah.
We used
They
to have to,
absolutely
we
do.
used to have to contract everything out.
Yeah.
I came in as an elected official, wanting to contract everything out, and then we find out though that sometimes, some things, we can save money by not contracting them out.
Okay. I like it.
Support.
Thank you. That's all I had.
I know. So,
The all-seeing eye, he knows everything.
the elected and directors meeting,
Yeah.
time of January, you want it towards the beginning, end of the month, early in the week, late in the week, what do you
I'd say
think?
later in the month, and that way people have enough time to celebrate the holidays on 1 of 3. But I would say later in the month, and that way we have the ability to really start planning for it also.
Okay.
In case we wanna bring it up in some of the briefings and discuss it before we discuss it.
Care about the day of the week?
Monday, or Tuesday, or a Wednesday.
Okay. Takes out 2 days, that makes it.
And those are the 2 days most open for me are Thursday and Friday, so.
Not me.
The one other thing that I had is that we received a request from North Mason Library. North Mason Library is going to be closing down for, see, I did remember, Kelly. They're going to be closing down for refurbishment at the beginning of next year. They are looking for some small space that they can use from mid-January to mid-April. They had come to the county with a request to use the area at the sheriff's office, that center office area. They need ADA parking, access to a bathroom, and a place where people can come in and use, come in and check things out and do library business on a small scale while they're closed for refurbishment. I don't know that it's their only option, but it is an option that they thought was available to them. I told them that, told Kelly that we would bring it to the board for their consideration. Facilities are your purview, and I also don't know if that interferes with any election activity of the auditor in the north end of the county, so.
How big of a space would they need?
I think the request generally was for that center conference area because DEM is a secure area in the back, which you can't have people wandering in and out of.
Couple computer stations, workstations for people to come in and
Can
do
you
their research on.
reach out to Mason Transit? They've got a building up there that's pretty much,
ADA and everything
yeah,
too.
it's also
Well-
unused for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, we can certainly make that recommendation to them if we say that the space is not available.
Well, and we're on the board, so, but, I'm okay with both. If they could use the one, that'd be better, but I think that's why we expanded that building. We got that building, from the fire department with the idea that we would bring more and more community services and stuff back there, so I would love to see us do it if the, transit is not available. Because the transit's a lot easier to operate, we don't have to worry about our security, we don't have to worry about any of that,
Right.
Yeah,
if the transit will do it.
That's the,
first choice for me would be transit, and then second for our building.
Is there a way to, because does DEM need that entire back space?
Depends who you ask, I guess.
I'm asking.
In an emergency, absolutely. If it were not an emergency, no, but how do you,
Can't predict emergencies.
how would you look at that? I mean,
That is kind of the problem that you have is most of the time the answer is no, but
Yeah.
when the answer is yes, it's 100% yes. And I think
yeah,
that facility in the north end is equipped to handle the whole county if we can't do it in the south end and vice versa. And that's a level of redundancy for emergency management that we probably don't want to infringe upon, but.
And some of that's already, all the infrastructure is there, it's just using the infrastructure, doesn't mean it has to be plugged into it until the time's needed to, if we want to look at different options. When we first looked at designing that thing, it was designed with the idea of being able to use it, it's all changed and stuff, and now the sheriff's department uses all of it, but we could still do some of that stuff back. There's a whole bay that was supposed to be designed to be able to be used as well, as an office. So, we just look at those options.
So you have the contact, can you reach back out to the library and say we're
Yes, I will.
option B, but,
Yep.
we think that transit may be a good
Let's put
option?
it where option B.
Cool.
Madam Chair, would you mind calling the director of MTA and just
I don't mind calling Amy at all.
throw a bug in her ear, see if she's,
I'll get you that email information what I got.
Okay.
So there's a couple pictures in it.
Oh, okay,
It says what they need, their need.
that'd be great.
And if I could circle back on one more thing, yes, I was typing diligently when you were talking about the issue with Dave Wyndham, but I was working on the lieutenant's contract, not listening. So if you could tell me what it was you wanted me to reach out to Dave, I would appreciate that. That way I don't have to go back and watch the video.
That was so long ago. Chris, what was I talking about? Oh, no, that was the opioids
Money.
money.
What did you want to know?
North Mason Fire.
Yes,
If-
to see if North Mason Fire had been contacted,
and if they're
and
okay
or if they
with,
reached out.
Oh, with the
With
dollar
the
amount that
reduction,
was,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, we can certainly do that.
Okay.
Just on another note, Dave had an emergency trip he had to take due to a family issue this week, so I'm not sure how timely that conversation will be, but
Okay.
he is going to be checking it, so.
Well, Melissa should also
I was
be
gonna say, yeah,
aware
Melissa would know.
of that, and since she's his second in that department, she might be a good one also.
and she's got lots of time, you can't say anything, so.
I know, well, we canceled theirs and added another, but. So, real quick, the Wasatch Conference was awesome. There is something that the IT steering committee needs to take a look at. I made some copies. The accessibility goes into effect, so we have to be accessibility compliant by April 24th, which means if you're looking at a screen and you have there the visual adapter, things like this, you can't see this, can you? This document from Department of Revenue would probably be a little different according to theirs, so we have to make sure that our system is compliant with.
For voting or?
No,
No.
it is 100% all of them.
Web page, everything has to be ADA compliant, so if you're visually impaired, you have to be able to hear
Yeah.
it has to be able to read it to you, it's, there's a lot to it. It's,
There's quite a bit to it. So
I
anyway,
don't think we're ready for that yet. We
well,
never
we
get on
have
it.
until
It's
April
April.
24th.
Oh, yeah, that's
So,
no time at all.
yeah. So, Travis, I'll hand these to you.
Okay.
And then also there's a place, they do historical research. And what they found out is that there are some places in Mason County that we could be reimbursed,
For
through
cleanups.
insurance companies, for cleanups.
things
So
that
I'll
we
share this with-
that we previously cleaned up, we
Yeah,
can get
So we get
reimbursed for.
reimbursed, so possibly. So I'll give this to you also, Travis.
Okay.
Yeah, on that one, scan some of that in, if you don't mind, send that to me. I wonder if that's connected to the old grants we used to do through Brownsfield and stuff like that with the ports
Yeah, this
for
one is
historic.
This one they found with, Mason County Fire District Five, Station One. So there's money there, also through C Street, which are the cities. So the city also has money available for,
And that
Yes,
Brownsfield,
as
they
well.
actually had a study, and that's maybe where that information came from. remember?
yeah, well, and
They
I'm
did that.
thinking that the, transfer station
Yeah.
out at Eels, there's
Yeah.
some money there too,
Yeah.
that so.
We want money.
Hand that down, that'd be great. Let's see, what else? There's a lot that came out of the meeting, it was a lot of fun. It's not a lot of fun, it was a lot of meetings. But it was great to speak with other commissioners and glad that you were able to attend. Divide and conquer, it was great. And tomorrow, we have our regular meeting at 9. At 10 o'clock, we have government to government meeting with Squaxin, 1 o'clock with government to government with Skokomish. So make sure that your agendas reflect that.
And I'll do the
And then you have,
checking in with the
yeah,
certification,
you have
so
2
I'll
o'clock
I'll
today
be
and then
checking
2
out.
o'clock tomorrow.
be checking out
Yeah.
if that later meeting goes long.
Yes, hasta la vista. Okay, anything else?
Madam Chair, move we adjourn.
Second.
Very good. Thank you, guys.